Google recently published a mathematical algorithm that targets the single most expensive hardware constraint in the AI industry. They changed the geometry of the data. To identify the fix, we have to isolate the bottleneck. When you prompt a large language model, the graphics processing unit performs two separate workloads. The first is the prefill phase. Ultra-fast cores sit nearly idle, waiting for data to arrive. Engineers call this the memory wall. During text generation, an AI chip is not limited by how fast it can think. It is a delivery truck trapped in traffic, limited by how fast it can read. The specific cargo clogging that delivery route is the key value, or KV, cache. This is a high-speed memory vault where the model stores intermediate matrices representing the conversation history, so it doesn't have to recalculate your entire prompt for every new token. As context windows scale from a few thousand tokens to over 1 million, the KV cache grows proportionally. It quickly consumes all available video RAM on the GPU. Historically, engineers tried to shrink this footprint through standard quantization. They compressed high-precision 16-bit floating-point numbers into 4-bit integers to save space. This diagram shows why traditional quantization fails at scale. To decompress a 4-bit integer back into usable math, the system must store hidden metadata, specific quantization constants, alongside the compressed bits. This required map key often cancels out the physical space saved by the compression. To break the memory wall, engineers require a mathematical pipeline that compresses data without relying on bulky metadata keys. Google's algorithm is called TurboQuant. It shrinks the KV cache by a factor of 6 with virtually zero loss in accuracy, requiring no model retraining. It achieves this through a two-stage mathematical pipeline, starting with polar quant. Imagine recording the exact locations of 1 billion darts thrown at a dartboard. The traditional method uses Cartesian coordinates, measuring precise distances on a standard X and Y grid. As seen on this grid, recording precise decimals like 3.145 on the x-axis and 8.241 on the y-axis for billions of parameters demands massive memory bandwidth. When data clusters unpredictably, the system acquires custom map keys just to track it. Step A of polar quant applies a random geometric rotation to the high-dimensional data vectors. Spinning the board before the measurement scatters the data points uniformly. Because the distribution is now predictable, the algorithm throws away the custom metadata map keys. Step B switches the measurement system from Cartesian XY decimals to polar coordinates. The system records just two things: the distance from the center and a simple angle, like 2 o'clock. This tight shorthand captures the vector's information in 2 to 3 bits. By altering the geometric shape of the data rather than rounding its numbers, polar quant achieves massive compression without the metadata tax. Dropping the precision introduces a mathematical compromise. If a dart lands at 2:04, snapping its location to a 2 o'clock coordinate introduces a rounding error. If these microscopic residual errors compound across billions of parameters, they skew the model's inner product estimates. The attention scores drift off course, and the LLM begins to hallucinate. This is where phase 2 kicks in, the quantized Johnson-Lindenstrass transform, or QJL. It acts as a microscopic mathematical error checker. QJL projects that leftover 4-minute variance into a lower dimensional space, boiling the error down to a single sign bit, a positive one for a clockwise nudge or a negative one for a counterclockwise nudge. When an LLM generates text, it sums thousands of data points to calculate an attention score. The law of large numbers dictates that these positive and negative nudges statistically cancel each other out, neutralizing the rounding errors. The cheap clock face measurement, combined with a 1-bit nudge, achieves the mathematical accuracy of a 32-bit floating point, using 3 bits of physical memory space. When Google Research formally unveiled TurboQuant, the stock market panicked. Investors saw a 6 times reduction in memory usage and concluded that AI data centers were about to buy 6 times fewer chips. Shares in major memory manufacturers like Micron and SK Hynix dropped sharply in the days following the publication, as the market priced in a collapse in demand for high-bandwidth memory. The physics metric at play here is arithmetic intensity, the ratio of mathematical operations performed per byte of data moved. When the KV cache is compressed by 80%, the GPU moves significantly less data to do the same amount of multiplication. The arithmetic intensity rises by a factor of 6. The delivery trucks clear out. Data arrives so quickly that the graphics card is pushed out of its memory-bound traffic jam. The processing cores are forced to crunch numbers at their maximum capacity to keep up. But the market reaction ignored the Jevons paradox. Making a resource more efficient does not destroy demand, it amplifies it. Data centers will not leave their newly cleared RAM empty. They will fill it by scaling up to 10 million token context windows. TurboQuant allows chip architects to rethink silicon real estate. Future GPUs can dedicate far less physical space to memory buses, prioritizing raw mathematical compute horsepower instead. For API providers like OpenAI and Google Cloud, shifting from a memory bottleneck to a compute bottleneck restructures their unit economics. A compressed KV cache means a single server GPU can hold the context for 60 concurrent users instead of 10 without crashing. By amortizing hardware costs across 6 times as many active users, the baseline cost to serve an NI model drops sharply. The standard price per 1,000 tokens will reach near utility levels. This also ends the long context premium. Feeding a million-token document into an LLM no longer monopolizes a GPU's memory allocation, eliminating the financial penalty for analyzing large datasets. This chart models the upcoming pivot in API pricing. As memory becomes cheap, raw compute becomes the scarce resource. Providers will shift away from charging based on the length of the text and begin charging based on raw compute time, billing for how long the model spent reasoning through a problem. As infrastructure costs trend toward zero, the economic moat for AI companies will shift permanently away from server efficiency and directly onto the intelligence of their models. This mathematical compression shifts the operational ceiling for consumer edge devices like the laptop on your desk. Historically, local inference suffered from the swap of death. When a long context prompt maxed out a laptop's fast VRAM, the system spilled the overflow KV cache onto the slow solid-state drive, crippling generation speeds to 1 token per second. TurboQuant allows a 100,000 token context window to fit entirely inside a standard laptop's VRAM. This preserves lightning-fast generation speeds while lowering the thermal load and battery drain caused by moving heavy data. This capacity enables always-on, privacy-first operating systems that can monitor your screen and clipboard all day, maintaining a continuous rolling memory without your data ever leaving the physical device. It also enables local multi-agent swarms. Because the memory footprint of an agent is now under 1 gigabyte, developers can run an entire boardroom of specialized AI agents simultaneously on a single consumer graphics card, letting them analyze an entire codebase natively. By mathematically curing the amnesia of edge devices, TurboQuant enables persistent, autonomous digital workers to run on standard hardware that previously could only host simple chatbots.